Hi everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today I am in the kitchen to show you my March bullet journal setup, and this is for 2019. So I just got the new Boho Berry box for March, so I just wanted to kind of show you. I put a few of her stickers to use, so I've got this Radiate Positive Vibes sticker here on the front of my bullet journal, and I had already set up the majority of all my pages, and I'm using this sort of aquamarine color here because that is the color that coordinates with my personal month, and it just so happened that her theme this month coordinated with it as well, so it was kind of fun. I just went through and used several of the stickers from her gemstone sticker set, and I'm trying to see if there's a shadow there. Sorry, there is a little shadow, but anyway, so this is my March layout, and as you can see, I've changed it up a little bit. So I got this idea from Miss McKenna's Life Leverage here on YouTube, and she does something very similar where she has a smaller monthly layout, and then her important dates listed here, and then these different boxes say highlight, low point, loving, watching, reading, learning, feeling. And then she had an area for notes here, but I decided to combine a few of my pages from previous months, so I put my goals section here. And I did that because I noticed I really wasn't filling in a whole page. Previously I would have the 4 boxes spread over one page, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was typically only writing about 3 to 5 goals per section, which is, I think, a totally appropriate amount. And I just thought, I might as well conserve some paper and space a little bit. So that's why I decided to try this layout. And I also wanted to try this smaller calendar layout because, as I mentioned in my February setup, I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not I need this because I have my, let's see, what can I show you here? I have my, all 12 months of the year are set up at the beginning of the bullet journal here, and so I've noticed that I'm using these a lot. I like having all my bills here and everything listed, and I just wanted to, basically see if I could sort of combine that. So that's why I decided to try this layout. I might end up using this March calendar for my editorial calendar for YouTube, just to track the different videos I plan on posting on which days, and then this would be for appointments and events. So we'll see. I'm not sure if this will work, or if for my new bullet journal next quarter I'll just end up doing away with this altogether and maybe just combining these goals. And I just kind of liked how she had these little tidbits here, so I'm going to see if I like using that this month. And anyway, we will see. So I'll keep you posted on that. And then we have my personal month. So like I mentioned, for me, the month of March is a personal month number 5, and I just noticed that I forgot to add my little number symbol there, numeral symbol. And this, by the way, is the new Sakura Jelly Roll pen that came out in the March Boho Berry box. And I don't know if you can tell, but it is very sparkly. I was already using this one quite a bit in my layout, so anywhere you see the sort of, like these, I think I've outlined that in the same pen. It's more of like it has a little sparkle to it, but it's more of like a pearlescence finish, which is kind of funny because the lid is very sparkly. But this new one that just came out, which has a more subtle lid, I almost should just switch the lids. This one is actually very sparkly. So this, I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but this one looks like you threw some glitter on the page, which is kind of fun. And then of course I was also using this Tombow 452 for, actually for here, I'm not very good at brush lettering, and as you can see, I started out pretty rough. I sort of got the hang of it a little bit further along into my affirmation. And obviously if I would just practice more, it would get better, but there we go. I practiced a little bit right there. I'm going to keep up with my habit tracker because it is working really well to use this for my Miracle Morning tasks. And now that I've sort of gotten into a new groove with my Miracle Morning practice, I really enjoy checking off my habit tracker again. So that is staying. And as you can see, I went crazy with the stickers from her, from the Boho Berry box, but I thought, well, gosh, they just coordinate so well, and I felt like it was exactly what I was needing, is just a little pop of another color, and adding that purple in was really nice. So onward we go. Here's my monthly gratitude tracker, or gratitude spread, and again, went kind of wild with some stickers there, but it was just kind of fun to add that to it. I was intending on putting some kind of a little quote down here anyway. And again, I really like having my gratitude practice as part of my Miracle Morning, so having the spread right here, especially right after my habit tracker, is just nice because I kind of just jump in here and get it all done at once and start marking things off. And then we go into my weekly spreads. And if you saw last month's spread video, I switched it up, and now I'm using this more simplified layout in that I just have the days all listed to the left. I haven't really even been doing columns. I had intended in February to do like appointments on the left-hand side and then tasks on the right, but it seems like I only have maybe 2 to 3 things per day. Sometimes I fill up all 5 sections, but I've just done a bullet for a task, and then the time I just write it in for the appointment. So it's working great that way. I really like having this weekly page that just encapsulates everything that I have going on. I did use the washi tape that came in the Boho Berry box as well. So, whoops, it's going to go rolling away. So I list out my daily tasks here, and those come from my little flip out there on the side. So I just go through and add all my daily tasks here, or whatever ones I think apply that week. And then this column over here, I do a bulleted list for any of the weekly tasks that I want to make sure I get done. Here I'll jot down any of the bills that are due that week that I want to make sure get paid, and the tasks obviously, and then any errands I need to run and any contacts I need to make, like phone calls, emails, even just talking to my husband when he's home from work, because sometimes that is easy to forget because he's working overtime and we only see each other for a short time every night. We're just sort of trying to catch up with each other for the day. So anyway, that has helped to have that. And then I go into my daily spreads. So I just finished reading Ryder Carroll's book, The Bullet Journal Method. I highly recommend it. It was very inspiring, motivating. It was really fun just to kind of learn the history of how the bullet journal method came about and how it's intended to be used. And he specifically says not to set up your daily pages ahead of time. And I know that, but for me, this is what works because I get busy. I'm running in a lot of different directions, and I love that I can, if I think of something that I know I need to do 3 days from now, I can just flip to that day and write it in my to-do list, and it's one less thing that I have to transfer later or try to remember, or, it's just, I'm just keeping a lot of balls in the air, and so for me, this works. And as you know, if you've been following me, what I do is I'll write in any of my appointments and scheduled events on this side under my day, and then over here will be all my tasks. And a lot of times, this section will take up maybe 5 or 6 lines at the most, and I'll draw a box around it, and then whatever room's left, I'll add any of the additional tasks that overflow from this side. So by the end of the day, I'll have used up about this much of the page typically, and so then the bottom 2/3 of the page or so, I'll just put notes, and then that is where I jot down. It's more long form, free form handwriting or journaling for the day. So that's my chance to journal about whatever, thoughts, feelings, how it went, things I struggled with, things that went great, Even just little cute things that my daughter has said. I have a 4-year-old daughter, so anything she said that I want to remember. I have a separate book for memory keeping for her, but I like being able to write it in here because if I get behind on her book, I can go back here and usually find enough things to remind me what she said or what I wanted to remember that day. So that's how I do it. It's very quick and easy, and usually what I do is I use my Tombow, I think it's worn off. I think it's N95. I'll link it below, but I really like this because it's this very light gray here, and that's what I was wanting, was just something to sort of make that header. So I'll do the first two. These are 12 boxes across, so that leaves the space of 2 boxes in the middle. And then I can just flip the page and I can see through the paper enough to do the next one, and then I flip it and do the next one, and then I flip it and do the very last one Saturday. Then I start going backward because now I can see it on this side of the page, so then I'll fill in that side. So it's just real easy to sit here and do the 7 days of the week and in that daily layout system. Usually I put a movie on or something while I'm doing that. And then I write in, of course, the day and then the date. And these numbers are my personal day numbers for each of the days. So those, again, correspond with the Louise Hay system. She has a little booklet called Colors and Numbers. I don't have it with me today, but I've used it in other videos, and I'll link it below if you're curious. But each day has kind of a theme, a color that she recommends wearing that day. So I like using it because it sort of gives me my uniform for the week and what colors to wear each of the days. And then it also has an affirmation. Let me see, this is it right here. So these are the different daily affirmations that correspond to each of those numbers. So that's what I use to sort of give myself one less decision to make as far as what to wear each day and help sort of guide my focus for the day. And I've gone through and set up all of the month of March. Again, that's not really how writer Carol recommends doing it, but you know, the bullet journal is made to work for you and do what works in your life, so that's what I'm doing. I've also added this weekly review at the end of my daily layouts, and I really like having that now. That's something I've started doing for February, and I look forward to it each week. It's just nice to sort of have a quick recap, and then it helps me focus in for the coming week on either areas that I want to work on improving or projects I've not gotten to that I really need to make sure I get to, that kind of thing. And yeah, then we go through. So the only thing I have left to add are my tabs. So as you can see, I've enjoyed really having these. These are just the Post-it removable tabs. So they're just a sticky, and I go through, I'll kind of show you this way. So I go through and I've set up, there it is. So you'll see like January, we'll have the 5 weeks, February only had 4 weeks, and then I'll set up my March ones and I'll have the 4 weeks marked there. And I put the week tab on this page here. And again, it's just so nice to be able to flip around. You know, I have recurring events, so I can make sure I've got those in there. I have tasks that correspond to those recurring events, so it's important that I have those tasks listed in that week. So it's just all those things that I'm responsible for and I don't want to forget, and having this all laid out ahead of time really helps me feel like I'm on top of it. I'm not forgetting things aren't falling through the cracks, and I'm able to keep up with all of my responsibilities in life, which is good, right? So, and then at the very end, I've added this monthly review section, and I took these headings, or what's the word? I can't think of it. If it comes, I'll say it. Anyway, I took this whole essential layout from Alexis, aka Miss Trenchcoat, and she's on YouTube and has a channel, plus she has her own website and sells digital productivity tools and has her own planner and everything. But I like a lot of her prompts. That's the word I was looking for. Her questions and her prompts for wrapping up the month and kind of looking at things that you need to work on or need to get better at or didn't work and you want to change. And then going through and just making sure all of these things are added to my calendar, because again, I want to stay on top of all of it, and things like holidays and birthdays I know, but then if I don't write it down, I won't remember and I won't, send the birthday card or remember that my daughter's off of school because it's a holiday, that kind of thing. And then the final page here is just wrapping up those other items you don't want to forget, and then a section for a brain dump. And that is it. And then, as you know, if you've been watching the last bit of my bullet journal, so these pages at the end, this is what I'm using for any of my collections, and that is still working really well. So I have used this part for calendar, this part for collections, and I'm sort of working back and in my index. I've indexed it that way so that, at the beginning I have all of my calendar pages. I need to add the March pages in here, but then I went to the back, and at the very last part is where I started adding in and then just going up. So it's really worked well to do it this way. I'm definitely going to keep that same layout and setup system for my next bullet journal, which will be for April. So it's kind of crazy that's already coming up, and we're going to be starting on that soon. Let's see, the other things that I used, I forgot to mention all of my supplies, but I will link everything below. I am using the Tombow Mono drawing pins. I used the 01 for any of the calendar setups like this. So these are 01. I used the 03 for my daily writing pen, so that's what I carry with me and use for all my journaling and note-taking. And then the 05 is typically what I use for these headings here. So I really enjoyed these. So far, these are my favorite. I have the, the microns, but they don't last as long. So I'm really happy with how these Tombow Mono drawing pens are holding up and lasting. If you saw my February video, I was going through the micron pen about once a week. I'd have to get a new 03 micron pen, and that's just way too often, even with the 40% off coupon. So I'm really enjoying these. And then, like I mentioned, I had the 2 Jelly Roll pens, the metallic and the one that just came out in the Boho Berry box. They're both from a Boho Berry box. And as well, this Tombow 452 marker, dual brush pen marker. And what else? A ruler, some whiteout, the typical things, and then some of the new stuff from the Boho Berry box, the stickers and the washi tape. So that is everything for my March setup. I hope that maybe gave you some ideas or some inspiration. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you like seeing my bullet journal setups, and I will be coming out soon with some more decluttering and Fly Lady and February focus on self-care videos. So I have a lot of other things going on here on my channel, but definitely drop me a line if you have any questions or would like to know more about how I do bullet journaling or see something different in a video. I'm happy to try to answer those questions when I can. So thanks again. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.